Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Holy name. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Gaura Hari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaur Premanandi Krishna Prasai Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Tamil English class. Anybody here who does not know English? English தெரியாதவர்கள் யாராவது உண்டா? ஆங்கிலம் அறியாதவர்கள் யாராவது உண்டா? எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும். இங்கிலீஷ் எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும். உனக்கு தெரியுமா? ஐயா இங்கே வந்து உட்காந்து அவ்வளோ தூரத்தில் உட்காராது. உபனிஷத்துனாலே பக்கத்தில் வந்து உட்காரணும்னு அர்த்தம். தெரியுமா உனக்கு? Upanishad means to come close and sit. Otherwise, spiritual knowledge difficult to translate. Transmit. Upanishad. Gauranga bolite hobe pulaka sharira Hari Hari bolite na yane babe nira Samsara vasana kabe tucho habe Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kir Panchamam. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Rasaraj Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 11, summary description of the Mahapurusha. Sunday nettiya? Sunday. Anjavad pannala nane. Penna 6 7 8. சரி என்ன இவ்வளோ பெருசாக இருக்கே. etad vai pauruṣaṁ rūpaṁ bhūḥ pādau dyauḥ śiro nabhaḥ nābhiḥ sūryo kṣiṇī nāse vāyuḥ karṇau diśaḥ prabhoḥ prajā-patiḥ prajananam apāno mrityur īśituḥ tad. முதல் 4 லைன் மட்டும் எழுதியிருக்காங்களா? இதை ஃபுல்லாக படிச்சிருவோம். tad-bāhavo loka-pālā manas candro bhruvau yamaha lajjottharo adharo lobho dantha jyotsna smayo brahmaha romani bhū-ruhāḥ bhūmno megaha puruṣa-mūrdhajāḥ. etad vai pauruṣaṁ rūpaṁ bhūḥ pādau dyauḥ śiro nabhaḥ nābhiḥ sūryo kṣiṇī nāse vāyuḥ karṇau diśaḥ prabhoḥ. etad vai pauruṣaṁ rūpaṁ bhūḥ pādau dyauḥ śiro nabhaḥ nābhiḥ sūryo kṣiṇī nāse vāyuḥ karṇau diśaḥ prabhoḥ. etad vai pauruṣaṁ rūpaṁ bhūḥ pādau dyauḥ śiro nabhaḥ nābhiḥ sūryo kṣiṇī nāse etad vai pauruṣaṁ rūpaṁ bhūḥ Mothers, etad, this, why indeed pauruṣaṁ of the Virāṭ-puruṣa, rūpaṁ the form, bhūḥ the earth, pādau his feet, dyauḥ heaven, śiro his head, nabhaḥ the sky, nābhiḥ is navel, sūryo, the sun, kṣiṇī is eyes, nāse is nostrils, vāyuḥ, the air, karṇau, his ears, diśaḥ, the directions, prabhoḥ, of the Supreme Lord, prajā-patiḥ, the demigod of procreation, prajananam is genitals, apānaḥ is anus, mrityuḥ, death, īśatuḥ, of the absolute controller, tad-bāhavaḥ is many arms, loka-pālā, the presiding demigods of the various planets, manaḥ is mind, chandra, the moon, bhū-ruhāḥ, the eyebrows, yamaḥ, the god of death, lajja, shame, his uttaraḥ is upper lip, adaraḥ is lower lip, lobha, greed, danta, his teeth, jyotsna, the light of the moon, smaya, his smile, brahmaḥ, delusion, romani, the hairs of the body, bhū-ruhāḥ, the trees, bhūmna, of the Almighty Lord, meghaḥ, the clouds, puruṣa, of the Virāṭ-puruṣa, mūrdha-jāḥ, the hairs upon his head. Translation. This is the representation of the Supreme Lord as the universal person, in which the earth is his feet, the sky is his navel, the sun is his eyes, the wind is his nostrils, the demigod of procreation is genitals, the death is anus, the moon is mind. The heavenly planet are his head, the directions of his ears, and the demigods protecting the various planets is many arms. The god of death is his eyebrows, shame is his lower lip, greed is his upper lip, delusion is his smile, and moonshine his teeth, while the trees are the Almighty Purusha's bodily hairs, and the clouds the hair on his head. Please repeat. This is the representation of the Supreme Lord as the universal person, in which the earth is his feet, the sky is navel, the sun is eyes, the wind is nostrils, the demigod of procreation is genitals, death is anus, and the moon is mind. The heavenly planets are his head, the directions his ears, the demigods protecting the various planets his many arms. The god of death is his eyebrows, shame his lower lip, greed his upper lip, delusion his smile, and moonshine his teeth, while the trees are the Almighty Purusha's bodily hairs, and the clouds the hair on his head. Purport. Various aspects of material creation, such as the earth, the sun, and the trees, are sustained by various limbs of the universal body of the Lord. Thus they are considered non-different from him, as described in this verse, which is meant for meditation. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desitarini Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sapradantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhibhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gauru Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If we understand, or if we think about how the Supreme Lord has established the Krishna consciousness movement, you can see how careful he is and how he perfectly executes everything, isn't it? You can see that he himself came personally as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he brought his Parshadas, confidential associates. The Supreme Lord, he has got unlimited supreme forms. There are also demigods, and he could have arranged things in his own way without having to be personally involved, and that's how the universe goes on. But he personally came, and he also sent, before he came, Advaita Acharya, very important. And because of Advaita Acharya, Lord Chaitanya came, and then he had Lord Nityananda, his eternal expansion, Sri Balram, who always associates with him. Of all the Vishnu expansions, Balram is the source, and Balram himself never leaves the company of Lord Krishna, and he expands himself into 4 Maha-puruṣas, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha and Padmanabha, so that the rest of the activities can go on. And such a great personality came with Lord Chaitanya, and he also brought the various angas, the internal energy representation, Sri Gadadhar, and pure devotee, Srivas, isn't it? Mahavishnu is represented by Advaita Acharya. And Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita says that all this put together is the Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the 5 put together. So Lord Chaitanya and all his expansions together, that is the totality. And so this idea of the relationship between the total and the parts is always there. And then he sent so many acharyas who wrote so many books, and they all came for different purposes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur came to establish Rasa Tattva, and Baladev Vidyabhushan came to establish Vedanta Sutra, Narottam Das Thakur came to open up the Premanidhi, and in this way, different, every Acharya, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj came to show Vairagya, how Babaji should live in the future. Maybe real Babajis will come. This is for 10,000 years, and we are in the very beginning. And in the very beginning, it is said Lord Chaitanya gives chance for the least inclined people. So we are not to think we are somebody very special and great who have come to bless Lord Chaitanya's movement. Rather, that if real devotees come, we will have no position. We can't even open our mouth. And so he is giving everybody a chance, Kramena. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur came, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, to bring out the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and to establish Namahatta program, and Srila Jagannath Babaji Maharaj only work was to certify that this is Lord Chaitanya's birthplace indeed. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he actually, established how to dovetail everything in Krishna consciousness, practically showed. And he established the world-class movement, its first form in Gaudiya Math. And Srila Prabhupada has come and set it up. So you can see how the Lord is so attentive to detail, and he has set up such a movement. So we are also supposed to be equally attentive to details, otherwise we cannot become Krishna conscious. There is yoga, there is bhakti, and there is bhakti yoga. There are yogis who don't do bhakti, and there are people who do bhakti without being yogis, but we are supposed to be bhakti yogis. So yoga means to be able to see the exact relationship between the soul and the subtle and gross bodies. And bhakti is the process by which the soul, who is independent of the subtle and gross bodies, engages in loving relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna. So there are many yogis who sit and meditate and they are trying to separate themselves from the subtle and gross body. They may not be doing bhakti. And there are people who are actually doing bhakti, carrying out everything that a pure devotee will do. They are not yogis. And we have a chance to become bhakti yogis. And that's not such a simple thing. And why we don't have bhakti? We have a little bit of bhakti, a little tendency to be a yogi, and we are attempting something. But we don't have a tendency to become a bhakti because of our desire to be the Supreme Lord. We have a desire to be a Supreme Lord. We do. There's no doubt about that. Not only that, just thinking about the Lord, the conditioned soul is so unhappy. Just like the fish out of water, how is it? Very thought of God means it's covered by material energy. The Lord is very kind and is purifying the soul. You see? I have no doubt that deep inside I don't love for Krishna, no love. You can see Hiranyakasipu, as soon as he saw the Lord, said, I kill you! He wants to kill the Lord. And it's a fact that, conditioned souls, if they see Lord, first thing they want to do is to hurt him. It's very extraordinary. I experienced all that in me. So don't think that I'm just speaking. So I have no doubt that I'm a number one nonsense spiritually. All this Krishna will not reveal unless we are very sincere. You go to the doctor, anyway. So, the living entity has to become extremely cautious. And because the living entity has this desire to be the Supreme Lord, the Lord has thought. Of course, his thinking is instantaneous, but he has thought very deeply. It's instantaneous for him, everything. And he has, how can I benefit these living entities who want to be apart from me, but it's not possible, I'm everything. And how can they be different? So I will actually create a situation in which they think they are separate from me, tad-bāhavo, and I'll give them a chance to actually enjoy that being the Supreme Lord. And I will slowly bring them back. And the Lord is very kind and very patient. In Vedanta Sutra it is said that Lord has decided that He will not hold back anything for the living entity. In Baldev Vidyabhushan's commentary it is there. He sacrificed Himself just for the well-being of the living entity. So that is His opulence of renunciation. So He's never going to tell us. So this bhakti movement is an extraordinary opportunity for the conditioned soul, if he is very sincere and serious, to learn his actual position. And how has the Lord created the world? The same way He is, the same way He gives every living entity, especially human life, an opportunity to be the Lord. This entire description is the same way the soul also. Yata anda tata pinda, the Hindus say. Isn't it? Just as the whole universe is there, so is the body. The Mayavadi impersonalist yogis were not bhaktis. They are yogis, right? And they actually try to think of this and they come up with so many explanations. But in the beginning, there is only the Lord with all His energies. When we say in the beginning, it's not in time, it is a source. So there is only the Lord with all His energies. The Lord has His own form. The Lord has His own form. And all the energies are there. And His relationship with the energies, only He understands. The energies cannot fully understand. Except for, of course, Srimati Radharani, but we won't get into that topic. I'm not qualified for that. So let's just focus on the Supreme Lord. Actually, when we say Lord, we also always mean Radharani. There, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. And therefore, actually, when we say Lord, we always mean Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know, in any case, the Lord and Srimati Radharani is hidden for all of us, and that's Lord Chaitanya also. We don't have authority. Isn't it? I've given here an example before, I'll repeat it. If you go on the street and then you meet a friend of yours and the friend says, oh, this is so and so. And you can't immediately ask him, how is your wife? Can you ask? You look very terrible. Huh? Slap. So, when Prabhupada is saying this is Lord Krishna, oh, how is your wife? No, it's not possible. Radharani is very far. First we have to understand Krishna, make friends. So, in the first canto, Srila Prabhupada says in a purport, it is congenial for the conditioned soul to first develop a respectful relationship with the Lord. There is no need to imagine that I love Him and shed tears. Unless you are advanced devotee like Srimati Krishna Prabhu, we cannot imagine that we have any relation with the Lord. Anyway, I'm joking. So the Supreme Lord is existing with all His energies. And what is His relationship to these energies? Aham eva agre Rigveda. In the beginning only I exist. Na Rudro, then everybody else. Na Shambhu. Nobody is there in the material creation. The spiritual world has got eternal associates. That's all same as Lord. When we say Lord, we mean Radharani. And when we say Lord, we mean all the Parshadas. When we say Lord, we mean his Dhamma. It's all accepted because he is never separate from all these things. It is not known. So, what is the relationship between that Lord and his energies is extremely secret. It cannot be conceived. Only the Lord knows. Therefore it's called achintya. Achintya. So, the same relationship Krishna is giving to the soul for a small portion of his material energy. So, in the material energy, so in the material energy, the soul, especially when it gets the human form, he is the Lord of this universe. His relationship with the energies that he is allowed to be the Lord of, the subtle and the gross bodies, is exactly same as the relationship between the Lord and his energies. How kind the Lord is. The only difference is, the Lord knows his relationship with the energies, but the soul doesn't know. He cannot, because this is not really his kingdom. He's an impostor. But the Lord says, so the yogi, he actually meditates that I am in this kingdom, it's not mine. And he imagines himself to be a person. It is an imaginary form with feet, ankles, calf, knees, thighs, genitals, anus, hip, chest, face, nose, eyebrows, eyes, ears, everything he has got. It's an imaginary form because it's not the body. And so for such yogis, the Vedas, and the Vedas means also Bhagavatam, because whatever is in the Vedas is in the Bhagavatam. He's not saying, this fellow doesn't know anything about me, but he's speaking. Let me see what he is speaking. We don't know, I don't know who's Krishna. Isn't it? Oh Vaishnava Thakur, Ami Tomar Kukur. Oh my dear Vaishnava Thakur, you knows Krishna. Krishna Krishna Boli. So I'm just running, tao piche. So you know Krishna, I don't know. That's the position of the Acharya. So anyway, then for this yogi who has become intelligent enough to realize that this kingdom of mine is not mine, it is actually, he accepts there is a Brahman, the impersonal yogi, but he imagines he accepts he is a part of the Brahman, but because he does not believe in the form, he thinks, I'm getting merged in the Brahman. That's the mistake he makes because of his original envy for Krishna. Isn't it? When the thief goes to your house, he has to think that this is for him. Very subtle. He knows it's not his. That's why he's stealing. But still he thinks this is actually meant for me, it's for me. So even though the impersonalist yogi knows that this is not mine and that's Brahman, but then he also thinks that Brahman is me because I don't want Krishna. It's extremely subtle, the impersonalist contamination. But the impersonalist understanding of the material world is as perfect as the Vaishnava's understanding. So we can't just simply dismiss them. Extraordinary people. So Prabhupada in the morning walk said, you have to at least give it to the impersonalist that he has understood that this world is an illusion. So, this is a matter for understanding our position. So it's a very serious topic. It is not so much for understanding the Lord because it's an imaginary form. But one must understand, how did I come to be this person, this material person which I am not? Because we have come into this material world, we already said, because we want to be the Supreme Lord. And the soul is connected with this Purusha. Yatato hyapi kaunteya puruṣasya vipasthita indriyani pramatini haranti prasabam manah. Krishna says, Yatato hyapi kaunteya puruṣasya vipasthita. He is referring to the soul as Purusha. Although he is Prakriti, he is Para-Prakriti. He is so pakka, so decent. You are the Purusha, he says. Yatato hyapi, you are trying, kaunteya, puruṣasya vipasthita, but you are not able to. Again and 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 again. The soul who is trying to actually come out of the material existence is failing. Yatato hyapi kaunteya puruṣasya vipasthita. Vipasthita means it makes your senses go, of course. Indriyani pramatini, very powerful the senses are. Haranti prasabam, like you are taking a 16-ton truck. You're going on the freeway in America, the truck has got 45, 46 wheels or whatever it is. I've seen those trucks, very huge trucks. And in the truck he is actually going at 70 miles an hour. The truck weighs many, many, many tons and is going very, so powerful engine. But at some point he actually sleeps and loses control. Then suddenly the truck goes off. Even if he wakes up, he cannot control it. You're following, Arvind? Nulya? English தெரியுமா தெரியாதா? Follow பண்றீங்களா இல்லையா? You cannot. It is, and it's so powerful that even though he has got the control of power steering wheel and everything, and then he goes and hits, and like this recent accident happened, nothing can be done. So the senses are like that. This is not just a simple body, it's a powerful body. And this body, if you want to dominate matter, you can to some extent. And the demons, they are very powerful. And this and that. And you imagine how much they are actually manipulating the world. They don't care. We'll see. Whatever problem comes, we'll solve it. They go. That is Asura. And Krishna says that Shakti in the Asura is me. It's coming from me. Krishna is behind all of this. So, you, the soul, you are actually the master of this little kingdom. And you are thinking like this. But actually for the entire material energy also, if you want, you can think of actually the Lord as a supreme person, Virāṭ-puruṣa. It's an imaginary form, Srila Prabhupada says. And that form you can imagine, eyes, nose and everything, that's the Supreme Lord. At least in the beginning one gets, this is for the impersonalist yogis. But the devotees know that the Supreme Lord has his own form. We have heard about it, the devotees. Devotees means bhakti yogis. We should know, am I a bhakti, am I a yogi, or am I a bhakti yogi? Sometimes it may be nothing. We must know exactly what we are. So bhakti yogis know that they're actually, we may be on the path of bhakti yoga. That's different from being a bhakti yogi. When you go to study kindergarten, you can already imagine, I'm going to do PhD. But you are in kindergarten. You cannot forget that. If you forget that, you cannot make progress. Or we cannot make progress. So what a very subtle, this verse, it looks like this. And unless you are actually following the lotus feet of the pure Vaishnava Acharya, you can't understand what is all this. Simply, one has to meditate on the kindness of the Lord that He has given this. So of all the forms, the male form is the most sublime and special. Surila. And although it has got its own vikaras, because of his own past, somebody is ugly, someone is beautiful, somebody is weak, somebody is strong, somebody is foolish, somebody is intelligent. These vikaras are there. But for everybody, you are the boss of your kingdom. So if you want to become a yogi, which is different from performing bhakti, you must be 24/7 conscious of this, the yogi. That is, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, when sitting and standing and walking, sleeping, when evacuating, yogi. We are not to think that has got nothing to do with this. We will do bhakti. You can do bhakti, but you must become a yogi too. But in Kali Yuga, in this Kali Yuga, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given an opportunity. Striyas Vaishyas Sada Sudra. Sudras and Vaishyas and Stris, they are generally weighted down by the body so much that they can't actually think of beyond the body. A woman gets a baby, she is not going to be able to think this is just an external manifestation of the material energy. Let me just concentrate on Krishna. It's not possible. And it's not good also for the creation. So the creation of the mother is a great blessing, because the mother has naturally intense attraction to the baby, so much so that Prabhupada said only in that love one can see a little reflection of Krishna, the soul's love for Krishna. And if the mother is not taken care of, not only when you are born, till the end, in the olden days and all, when we are born, mother means till you die, there is no question of giving up love and respect for the mother. And whatever she says goes in the house. So, but therefore they are supposed to focus their mind on the husband, and it is the duty of the father to actually get a husband who is spiritually more advanced than the daughter. That is why Swayambhuva Manu, who was the king of the whole universe, he is an incarnation of the Lord, and he had a daughter, Devahuti, and he went all over the world to search for the suitable person to give his daughter, and he found Kardama Muni. So when actually, in the olden days, for a young girl, they were trying to look for a husband and all, that is a culture that's not even there in the West, the Vedic culture. It is for actually finding out what is the old, at least in the Brahminical community and Kshatriya community. The marriage took place on the basis of what is the spiritual level of my daughter and what should be the spiritual level of the husband. So when we say that, so the wife is supposed to treat the husband like God when he is spiritually qualified, not when he is a fool. MBA படிச்சிருக்காராம் என் பையன். When I joined ISKCON and when my younger sisters were there, when people would come, we are 7 brothers, so they will say, 6 brothers are all in good position, only one has gone to ISKCON, but please don't worry about it. Only one fellow became useless. No, I'm just joking. They didn't say that. My family was very good. Yeah. So, you see, marriage means finding like that. And when it is found like that, the lady is supposed to focus. In the olden days, even when we were children and all that, the women have never even seen a man or thought of him, much less thought of any another man. It was so pure, marriage. You see? Not like nowadays, you go to college, you go in a motorcycle and stand, hi, how are you? All rubbish. The animals. The animals are like that. There's nothing very great about human life. If you go into the forest, you'll see a lion is trying to impress the lioness. Same way, you're doing nothing. At least the lion is actually very powerful. It's a completely animalistic activity. A rat also is doing the same thing. And mosquito also. There are mosquito heroes, there are heroines. We're thinking something great. It's there in every life. The yogi knows. The yogi's way of looking at the world is different. Not to speak of bhakti yogi's way of looking at the world. So your job, having come into bhakti, my job, your job, our job, is to become a yogi. Anyway, that's the science, how Prabhupada has set up the daily routine so that he can become a yogi. So, the point is that the lady considers the husband as Deva, and she, serves him, and the husband is serving Krishna. That's a one-way traffic. Kadava Muni was not even thinking about his wife. She was serving herself like that. So, Purusha, when we say we are not putting down this, but the female body is like weighting down, the Sudra body. So we are all Sudras. So we are no different from women in Kali Yuga. Serious side is Sata, Vaishya. And Vaishya is also like that. They cannot actually give up. And for them, a process of Krishna consciousness has been given, but you must all know that everyone is now expected to become a bhakti. Bhakti. So you should all understand that I am spirit soul. In the moment they just say, oh, we are, Prabhupada did not make distinction between man and woman, we are spirit soul. No, forget Prabhupada, you should not make. For yourself. Have you overcome? It's not such a simple thing. So, everybody, so the yogi can become, the Bhagavatam is meant for us to become a bhakti yogi. That cannot be diluted. Do not imagine that by doing bhakti, you will become a bhakti yogi. It will take a long time. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, right? Koti. We can be chanting. Bahu janme kareti savanadi kirtana. Tatabi Radha Naipaya, Radha Krishna Prema. So Radha Krishna Prema means topmost yogi. Yogi namapi sarvesham adgatena. But to get that, you can, for crores and crores of lives, you can chant Hare Krishna and do bhakti. And nothing may, you may not get Radha Krishna Prema. So, like Krishna is so, that's why I started the class by saying how careful Krishna is to establish the movement. Why? Why so many associates of the Lord and all had to come? Because you, means me and all of us, we have to actually give up this material contamination. It's not such a simple thing. We have to become a yogi. It's very difficult. Because I have gotten into this body to enjoy. If somebody says, no, there's a nice restaurant. What is the best restaurant in Chennai? Vegetarian. Famous. Saravana Bhavan. Adu andal nambo. No, Saravana Bhavan. There must be some... No, there must be... In Bombay there are vegetarian restaurants where one plate is 25,000 rupees. Huh? Oh, Mangala, so many specialist restaurants are there. Can you imagine? One fellow came to my office in congregation devotee. Yesterday, it was my marriage anniversary, Prabhu, we went to such and such a restaurant. I said, okay. One plate was 25,000 rupees, Prabhu. 25,000? Yes, Prabhu. And in one table, that Sachin Tendulkar was sitting. Oh, he has got money. In this way, so it's a top restaurant is there, and you have actually gone there, right? And so, definitely that day, lunch and all would have been skipped. No point in going. Isn't it? Everything, and you go with good hunger, and you sit there, and they serve you nicely. As soon as you go, nice music. When last time when I came here, there was just before that there was a 50th anniversary of our school passing. And they called me, I was in America, I said I didn't go. So when I came, some of them said, we want to see you, my old classmates. So I said, okay. And they said, can you come to this such and such a place? They should have come to the temple. I said, all right, let me not act very tough. And I went there. And they arranged it, I didn't know actually, they had arranged it in a bar. Around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a restaurant with a bar. I didn't know that. And when I went inside, complete silence. Everybody is looking. And I just went. And the bar owner was so intelligent. And we all sit down. And after that, that Vishnu Sahasranamam tape, he put it. Bar, everybody is drinking. What is that Vishnu Sahasranamam? How does it? M.S. Subbulakshmi uses it. Ada pottan. Shuklam Varadaram Vishnam Sachivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet. Now I was sitting suddenly, I said, where is this coming from? And those fellows are all laughing and smiling. At least they had the consciousness to be shocked that someone in saffron walked into a bar. I didn't say anything. Then they asked me how did you join and all that. They've seen me 50 years ago. So, like that you prepare yourself nicely and you go to your 25,000 rupee plate restaurant. Can you imagine it? And after sitting down, if somebody tells you, no, you're not supposed to eat here, you're supposed to control your senses. How can you do it? So we have come to such a restaurant. After so many millions of lifetimes of being an animal, this and that, you get a human form of life, and especially a male body, and then you think I'm the greatest, I'm the master of all, I survey. And if you have to actually then give up that, it's very impossible. Even for the great yogis who are not bhakti yogis, it's impossible. That's why even the great yogis fall down. Therefore, you should understand that this is an opportunity for us to become. But so the Lord has taken so much trouble because He is asking you for something that's way beyond our capacity. Give up the subtle and gross. Give up your kingdom. This is a kingdom that you have. It's an amazing kingdom. Everybody is treating you nicely as soon as you go and sit down. Yes, sir. And then they put the card, this, that, everything. Like that, every sense is serving you. So beautiful. Touch it, oh, it's so nice, and tongue and taste and smell. Krishna has given us a kingdom. And who is going to renounce this kingdom? He becomes a yogi. And if he is renouncing it in order to love Krishna, he becomes a bhakti yogi. So, this is the beginning of this discussion about universal form. It's not a simple thing. And one must understand Bhagavatam from his position. Don't simply go on imagining things about Bhagavatam. The simple understanding of this universal form is that I'm here, I'm stuck, and in order to transcend that, and imagine, this is an imaginary form that is being given to yogis, but for us the direct form of the Lord is given. How merciful the Lord is. This form is not to be understood. This form, Bhagavatam, is not to be... Bhagavatam is everywhere there. If you go to Gujarat and all, Bhagavatam, they have Saptaham. Southil onnum kedave kedadu. Adu thala mela vechinu poyindu irupanga. They will keep it on the head and go. But they don't change their lives. So we are supposed to actually, one must constantly be meditating on how unqualified I am as a soul, unfit, and how Prabhupada has given me the greatest. So when we go to preach, we are not going in the mood that I have become a bhakti yogi. You are a bhakti yogi, I am not. And that I cannot think I am a bhakti yogi and I will go now and I will distribute to everybody bhakti and they will become bhakti yogis. This is nonsense. We should understand that I am just a fool who is rotting in this world, who cannot even for a second forget the body. What is that verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita? Yaha dehara bandhana nahi. Kaha, yaha something, kaha samsara bandhana. Yaha dehara smriti nahi. Kaha samsara bandhana. Anyway, that's... No, it's okay. So, the point is, where there is no remembrance of the body, where is the question of conditions stage? We have to forget the body. Maybe when we sleep, we forget the gross body, but we don't forget the subtle body, certainly. We have to give up. This is yoga. We should not think that we are not yogis, isn't it? So, that is the process of Krishna consciousness, and we should think that I should think, I don't know about all of you, I should think that I'm just a fool who has simply come into this great movement which has been established from Lord Chaitanya to Prabhupada so carefully. All of them are extraordinary doyens of bhakti. And there I am just beginning. So I should not even open my mouth. But Prabhupada said that this is actually an emergency. In the war, Prabhupada said, the country does not have enough doctors. Then what do? They just simply select anybody who is even reasonably willing to, put some patches there or cut something and, some basic bone tree, cutting. Teach some basic thing and say, you become a doctor and go into the front of the army. Prabhupada gave that example. That doesn't mean you have become a doctor. So I must never forget that I'm not a bhakti yogi. I'm not even a yogi. Even bhakti I may not do. Chanting, I sleep. Night 11 o'clock, I think, I've got still one more round. Isn't it? As it happened to me yesterday. I had 15 rounds and one round was still not done. We went to a program in Perambur, come back, I have to do this one round. So, I'm such a person, but I'm sitting here like a big shot and giving class. So what is the point of that? Bodhayantas parasparam. Of course, there is a distinction even among fake Bhakti yogis, there's a distinction. Somebody is very fake and somebody is little less fake. So the little less fake is sitting and speaking to the more fake. It's all right. But our speaking as well. So we are going outside as these emergency doctors to give people a chance, and those people may take up the process and become better than us. So we are actually preaching on behalf of His divine grace, but I must become a what? Huh? We must become what? Bhakti yogi. Anyway, this is the beginning of meditating on the universal form of the Lord. Just as you have an imaginary understanding of a man, you can also have an understanding of imaginary understanding of the Lord, and then later on develop at least initially some respect for the Lord. Any questions or comments? 9 o'clock correct motion. Wait, you are last. Anybody else?
Maharaj, in the ultimate sense, everything is a leela, they say. Is it true or what? According to Lord, everything which is happening in the material world, spiritual world is a leela for Him.
First of all, I'm not Maharaj. I'm not even a brahmachari. You can see people, they know. Huh? People think externally. Somebody is sannyasi, somebody is this, somebody that. Anyway, the question is a good question. It is indeed the Srishti Shriti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Rekha. That Srishti, Shriti and Pralaya, all carried out by the Lord, is His Leela. But our activities are not Leela. Isn't it? Prabhupada said, being born as a pig is not your Leela. Being born as a cockroach is not a Leela. But in each of these bodies, you means it's a soul, is relishing some enjoyment which cannot be obtained in any other body. That is why there are so many bodies. For each soul, Krishna has, you can imagine what is Rasa Tattva. That its reflection in the material world is such that a soul can also take a pig body and eat stool and think he is happy. Because Krishna says, Krishna is all attractive. Can you imagine that? Because the soul does not want Krishna, but he cannot be without Krishna. He has to go through so many things. So, no, the soul's suffering in the material world is very real, and it's not his Leela. Just like the king sets up a prison, you can say that's his Leela. He doesn't have to, and he is never going to be in the prison. He is in the palace. But still so that actually law-abiding citizens can be safe, all the thieves and all can be put in the prison, and in the prison they can at least exist. So the prisoner is not enjoying Leela. So we have to distinguish between God, action in the material world, and our actions. His actions are Leela, our actions are suffering. Is that clear? But the Mayavadis, they don't believe in the Lord, and so they are actually thinking, when it is said, Leela Vibhuti, material creation is the Lord's Leela, and they are thinking, I am the same as the Lord, so I am also having Leela. It is extremely They are so intelligent that they have figured out everything about the material creation, but still we see. Yeah. Any other questions? Oh. He Govinda, he Gopal, he Dayana.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, you told we have to forget the body, then this Krishna consciousness will start. Right. But how to forget this? We are not this body for 24 hours.
That's a good question.
But
I didn't exactly say we should forget the body. I said where there is no remembrance of the body, there is no samsara bandhana, which the way you have put also is okay. So the question is, how can we forget the body which is so close to us and also so dear? Not even just close, it's so dear. Without this body we cannot exist. We can, but we think it's impossible. So, when you get attracted to serving Krishna in this particular pantha of Krishna consciousness of the Lord, Chaitanya, then you can forget the body. Actually, when the devotees are waking up in the morning at 3:30 and they go to Mangala Arti and they are sitting and chanting, later on Tulsi Arti chanting and then class, they are forgetting the world. Anji? Huh? No, mosquito is not forgetting your body, but we forget. So he is not forgetting your body and reminding you. So anyway, the point is that by, what is that verse? Higher taste. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartante. Unless we get the higher taste, we cannot give up the lower taste. I used to give long time ago when I was speaking in the 80s, I used to give this example. That suppose a person is so poor and he has no money and he is eating in the garbage. And one fellow goes and tells him, don't eat in the garbage, it's eaten by people who may have disease or this or that. Don't eat that. Oh, I found some nice lasagna, don't forget it. Don't take it, it's not good for you. Normally he won't listen. He is hungry, something kuch na kuch andar jaane ka. But suppose he actually listens and doesn't take, how long? Maybe evening, next day morning, another one day, then he has to go back because he is hungry. So the Mayavadis are preaching to the conditioned souls who are eating in the garbage of material existence that no, this is all no good, you give up, and they can't. Sometimes they try, and it won't last long. But the Vaishnava is coming and saying, he's not criticizing that. He's saying, oh, Haribol, here, there's a big feast. And he's very hungry, feast, he eats. There's no need to tell him, now don't go and eat in the garbage, because the purpose for which he went there is fulfilled. So this process is like that the senses of the soul is attracted towards Krishna by so many things. Everything is here in this. Philosophy you want, philosophy is there. Food you want, food is there. Music you want, music is there. You want to do everything is there. So it is by that higher taste you can give up the lower taste. So the actual Vaishnava meaning of that verse is that when you are doing Krishna Bhakti, established by Lord Chaitanya, and you don't have remembrance of your body, where is the question of your conditioned soul? You are already liberated. So we just have to go on continuing to do that. For those of you who are here new, I've started a YouTube channel with 2-3 minute videos, and you can on your cell phone, you can go to YouTube and type Rasaraj. Mataji is having a cell phone. No, to your left. Is she? No, she's chanting, okay. So, you can go and then put Rasaraj Dasa for YouTube and you can subscribe. Kumare no subscribe பண்ணலையா? நீங்களே சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணலையா? யூடியூப்பில் போய் யூடியூப் ஆப்பில் போய் ரசராஜ தாசான்னு போடுங்க. வந்துட்டா? என்னோடய ஃபோட்டோ வந்துட்டா? 2 ரசராஜ் இருக்கான். அவனில் இன்னொரு ஆள்கிட்ட போட்டுறாதீங்க. காம்படிஷன். அதில் யாருன்னு தெரியாது. we don't know what. Sumitra Prabhu, your question. The answer was okay?
That I'm not qualified, it shows a humility when you preach. If I think I'm qualified, what suppose?
No, that's not humility.
You become less than.
That false. Is a matter of fact. It's not a humility.
So my question is.
This is the thief is saying I'm a thief. That's not humility. Maximum honesty. It's not humility. So when we go to preach and we understand I'm in the same position as you, there's no difference.
I'm giving an example. When a doctor says to a patient, I don't know.
But when Prabhupada comes to preach, that is humility. Brahmananda Prabhu once told me that, in the beginning, we all used to come there, we were just youngsters, 19, 20 years old, hippies, and we used to sit against the wall. We can't even fold our legs, and we used to stretch our legs and sit there. After the lecture, after Prabhupada speaks, we'll all go and sit next to the wall, stretch our feet and sit there, and Prabhupada will come with prasadam and he'll serve everybody. It's not that everybody was serving Prabhupada from the beginning. Prabhupada first served, and he would serve prasadam, go around, and they say we all used to eat, and then we'll be simply sitting there. Prabhupada will come and collect all the plates, and he'll go and throw it. And Prabhupada's apartment had one bathroom, and we all, when we want to use, we had to stand in line, and Prabhupada would stand also in line in his own apartment for the bathroom. That is humility. Wow. Anyway, just next.
See, we are a preaching movement, of course. Mahaprabhu said, Yare deko taheko. He is actually asking.
We are not a preaching movement. We are.
So when I go to a person and said, I'm
the
not.
law is constantly, it's all illusion.
When I go to a new person and tell
let's just fix this illusion, one after another. That's not humility. I hope that is very clear. We are not a preaching movement. இந்த மாதிரி பண்ணி Chaitanya Prabhupada wrote, Lord Chaitanya, the original teacher of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's there in the book. Lord Prabhupada is saying he is the preacher. We have to say he is the preacher. And they are preaching. The real preaching is going on. In between we are doing some nonsense. That's how I think. You all can choose. I'm not telling you people. This is exactly how I think. Just like there is an ant here, he's very busy doing things. But there is a temple, deity worship is going on, people are coming, he has no clue. He's not a part of the temple in that sense. Like that, I am very busy doing this and science and this and that, but I never think I'm preaching. Even when I give classes, nothing. They are preaching, I am a busy fool who is probably not even part of the real ISKCON of Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya. Hardly maybe 5-6 people may be part of that. If we can think like that, we can begin our process of being humble. Never forget that Lord Chaitanya and Prabhupada are actually preaching and changing this world. Everything is, what we are doing may or may not be part of their plan. Does that make sense? Sorry for being so explicit, required. Because in the name of preaching, then we can do anything and justify. And that's happening. Correct? That's very important.
Suppose a patient visits a doctor and doctor says, myself, I am a patient. If he talks that I'm not qualified, the patient may get little, what is happening? So
No.
when we
Patient
go
won't
to
be-
represent,
A good patient knows he's still a doctor. In our case, we are not even a doctor and we are sick. We are not doctors. We cannot change anybody's. If we present that philosophy, maybe we are useful for others. Amrendra Prabhu. Huh?
sharing the information.
Our sharing our mannangatti. Adu kuda kedayadu. We don't know anything. I told you, no, one fake, another fake, another fake. So maybe I'm a less of a fake than somebody else, but that doesn't make me not a fake.
Prabhu, I just wanted to appreciate your subtle humor, which brings about point very nicely. And also this point of aspiring to be humble, what you said. And personally, I feel that this is even more important for devotees who are residing in their temple. I mean, outside is one thing, but it's so very more important for devotees in the temple, because when that visitor comes and Lord is there and holy name is there, and devotees, because when a visitor comes, he sees the Lord and he sees the devotee as one of the representatives. One congregation devotee was sharing that we act as if we are superior to everyone else. We act in a way that we are superior to all people who are coming, and we are the ones who are, giving them that knowledge. The same point, the point that you were making, that we are preaching and we are giving, and we assume ourselves to be at a far more superior position that we are not actually. So I just wanted to thank you for that, and somehow or other, if we can just aspire to become truly humble, and then I guess we can serve the society in some way.
That's a good point, very nice point. I just want to add to that. It's an important call for sanity that he is making. But the real source of humility is knowledge. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. That is why the Bhagavatam class is there. And when the Bhagavatam class is given properly, we generally have an idea. Today morning I was thinking, we generally have an idea that somebody speaks about Krishna. Somehow the thought came that and then I listened to it, and let's say that he said something that I think is very nice. Oh, it's very beautiful, it's making me understand Krishna better. Then I think that I'm a devotee. Because I'm hearing Bhagavad Gita, I'm appreciating it, and because I'm a devotee, I'm not envious of Krishna, I'm hearing and I'm appreciating it, it's nice. That's one way, but that's also a proud way of thinking, because I think I understand. But the actual point is that the humility is not with respect to others in the beginning. That is a manifestation. It's a humility in front of the Lord. The Mayavadi, for all his external humility, is very humble. If you have seen Mayavadi's sannyasis, they are extremely humble. Not now, real ones. But he is not actually really humble, because with respect to the Lord, he thinks I'm equal. So a Vaishnava starting, why are we devotees? Because in some sense we have accepted the Lord is master, I am servant. That's humility. Now we have to continue it more, and the more you understand that's why I started the class by saying we are, everybody in the material world, everyone is envious of Krishna. So we have to, so I'm just adding to that the real deep thing is that I must actually become humble in front of Krishna. And there is no limit to that. Even you go to the spiritual world, everybody is constantly, Krishna is ever expanding. Just a little point. But that's a very good point, important call he has made. We'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.